How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about Black Torch Chapter 6, Young Guns. So, starting off the chapter, before we start off the chapter, we get our title page and we see Jiro, Rigi, and the villain we had last chapter who came in. So, when we start off the chapter, he actually does introduce himself. He says, "My name is Koga," basically, and he wants to become the strongest man in Nuke. And in order to become the strongest Mananu, this man will need to take Rango. And when he says this, Rango's like, what did you just say to me? And Rigi has a little inner monologue. He's like, yo, this guy's an idiot, basically. Like, if this guy actually is dumb, we actually got a chance here. If this guy's stupid. So what's his name again? Koga. Yeah. Koga basically says, you know, the difference between humans and Mananukar is that Mananuk are kind of immortal, basically. So Mananuk can still die, but once only if they're mutilated. And they can lose their spiritual powers if they stop feeding. And the reason why he wants Rango is because Rango is different. You see, Rango, this man can regenerate his power without eating anything, which is insane in my opinion. I mean, like, you're practically the glitch in the system at that point. And so that's why he wants Rango. And he's like, I'm just gonna just, just take Rango, basically. And so what he does is has a horn come out of his skull, basically. And he like kind of just blitzes straight to Jiro and Rigi, and he just kicks Rigi straight into the side, and he just bashes him into the wall. And then with Jiro, he grabs him, he just grabs his neck and just kind of just slams him straight into the floor. And Rango is actually a little he's actually kind of calling out for Jiro over there. And this Koga guy, he just grabs Rango and he's like, "Hey, don't worry, and he says, "I'll free you from these filthy humans, right?" And after that, we can become one, basically. And sorry, not Jiro. Rango kind of says, he's like, No, nah, screw that. I'm no one's property. You want to become the you want to become the king of the Mononoke? You're insane, basically. I'm not interested in such a useless thing, right?" Which is kind of like funny because this cat just wants to live its life. He's just a cat, basically. So then Jiro kind of looks at him. He's like, "Yo, you're kind of dumb." And then he kind of yells at Reiji, like, "Yo, Reiji, do it now, right?" And Reiji's kind of in a little crouching position, and he's like, "Yo, can you stop yelling at me?" Because like, um, Jiro's kind of foiling the plan here. So then Reiji kind of uses his art style, like his swordsman skills, and he cuts um what's this man's name again? Oh my god, Kigo, Koga. He slashes Koga right. Um, he kind of Koga kind of blocks with his forearms like in a cross, and so he just kind of just cuts his forearms, basically. And then afterwards, with his forearms bleeding, he's like, "Yo, playtime's over." Basically, I'm gonna take you down both. And with his blood, he kind of brings out like a meat cleaver, like a not like a Guts Berserk type blade, more like a Kenpachi Zaraki, like Nozarashi type blade when it's in Shikai, basically. And so he pulls it out, and we cut away to Shiba and Ichika, and we get to see the first division there. And Ichika kind of says like, "Hey, is there anything I can do?" Basically, like, I don't want to sit around and just do nothing, right? And the butler kind of is like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, no worries." And we see the first division. I think it was the Bureau of Espionage, the first division, and we see Shiba. They're talking, basically, right? And she's not too happy. She's like, "What in the world were you trying to do? You basically use us as backup, because Shiba must have known that they were gonna come, and if they were in trouble, he has Division 1 as backup." And she's like, "Yo, you're kind of messed up for doing this, right? You're gonna be taking all the responsibility here." So then after we cut back to the fight, and these guys are just going toe for toe. Like Koga and Rigi are just going at it, and Rigi's katana just kind of cuts in half, which is to be expected. Basically, like he's going up against a meat cleaver. Like you're not beating that. So then they're still going at it until at one point, um, Jiro kind of says like, "Hey, like don't label us. We do not want to suit your needs." After they kind of had a little back and forth, and Rango kind of gives Jiro some power, and then he, I think, just punches him, and Koga just goes flying back. Like debris and dust and smoke are everywhere, basically. So then Koga, he comes out, he's walking unscathed, basically. Like his sword is destroyed, but he's still standing. However, something does happen where he has to leave. And what happened was is that they broke through the barrier. So then I want to really, I'm going to talk about the scene, and I want to have I want you to take a moment and to realize where the scene comes from. So Koga, he opens up a little portal, and Jiro's like, "Huh? Where are you going? Are you running away?" And he's like, "No, I'm just going home," basically. And they kind of, if I can't kill you, uh, if I kill you, I can't have Rango, so that's kind of bad. And he, Koga asks Jiro, he's like, "Okay, what's your name, right?" And Jiro says, Jiro Azuma, right? And the Koga's like, "Oh, you're that guy's kid, huh?" Right? And then Jiro's kind of stunned. He doesn't say anything. But I want to focus on where this scene comes from, because if you read the manga, okay, um, you can tell that this is the exact same thing of what Grimjow did when he fought Ichigo in the world of the living. I think, yeah, this was their first encounter, and I think this is kind of foreshadowing that these two are gonna just meet again, of course. But it was just it was just so nice to see that little callback, and you see this with manga and anime too all the time. You see the callbacks, like you see when Vegeta and um oh, I forgot that other guy's name, um Ralts? No, oh God. Oh God, I hope no Dragon Ball Z fans see this. But basically what happened was when those two came in to find Kakarot, basically, or Goku, and they were like, "Oh, you're Goku, come with us," basically. And then you see it in Bleach when Ukiura and Yami both show up. The same basic concept, right? And I like how Black Torch does this with Bleach, Koga is opening up the portal in Bleach to Sinkaimon, basically, and he says, "Hey, I'm going home. You know, it is what it is." And I don't know, this callback just, it made me happy seeing this callback. So, anyways, continuing along, we see that the First Division commander and we see Shiba. They're talking, and she's not happy. She's very much is not happy about what just happened. And she was like, "Oh, hey, do you want to congratulate these guys? Like these guys just did their first mission. It was super tough enemy they just fought." And she's like, "I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. Basically, I don't care. Basically, you're screwed. I'm telling the higher ups about this. These guys don't deserve any sort of special treatment." So then she drives off, and we get to see Shiba with the three kids basically, and she was like, "Oh damn, what am I supposed to do about this?" And because he doesn't really want to talk to these guys, she was hoping that she can do some talking, and I kind of do like this scene, where Riji's like, "Damn, like I was too full of myself. I need to get stronger. Like the techniques, the motive, the everything." And what I feel like with his character development is like he's the way of the sword. He was taught all these techniques. He was taught how to be able to flow with the sword. But what happens when someone is able to disturb that flowness basically. So that's what Shiba was trying to what's this trying to get at basically. Ichigo on the other hand, you know, it's not of her to she was following orders, but these orders were her for just to kind of do nothing. And you know, that's kind of not what she's about. She wants to keep doing something, and I get that. So this is where her character development kind of comes in. And Jiro, of course, you know, Jiro is Jiro. He has that mentality of the shonen protagonist. At first he kind of goes back and thinks he's like, what was that guy talking about? You're that guy's kid, huh? And he's thinking of grandfather. He's like, yeah, I never asked grandfather about my parents. I just assumed they died. So it was only Nietzsche and grandfather. That's just it, basically, right? So basically, how does Mon and Nuke know who they are, right? And he kind of says, "Oh, what a pain." And he's like, "I don't care. I'm just gonna do it." And no one knows what he's talking about. He's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And it's like, "I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna be part of this Black Torch thing. I'm gonna fight the Mononuke and do what's best for humanity, basically. You know, the typical shonen stuff." And you know, Shiba kind of says, "Hey, I've got your back. So even if you guys feel lost or just keep looking forward, that's all. That's it. Youth, that's all youth is about." And that's where the chapter ends, basically. And you know, it's kind of interesting how what Gio was talking about. How does a Mononuke know who his parents are? And what I think is that of course, you know, grandfather, he fought the Mononuke, you know, grandpa was a tank. Um, so it's either the Mononuke did something like, you know, his parents were like, you know, heroic um warriors or something like that, or I don't know. That's what I think. I think his parents were just heroic Mononuke part of the Bureau of Espionage. Sorry, they weren't heroic Mononuke. They're heroic Mononuke fighters, basically. That's what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, that's what I believe. And they were just killed in action. You know, that's what I think. I feel like it's going to go a lot more deeper than that. Um, I hope Grandfather just does make a comeback and just says what the hell happened, right? But I guess time will tell, and we'll probably figure that out when we get to next couple chapters. So that's about it. Chapter ends there, and I hope you enjoyed that. Nice little chapter to get introduced to some things. You know, a little more character development. See where our characters, where their heads are at. So yeah, all right. Hope you enjoyed again. Like, comment, subscribe if you did. Did you enjoy this chapter? Let me know below if you guys did. And I will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.